So we're going to take a look at Scottie Scheffler, champion golfer of the year, four-time major champion, world #1 golfer, now being compared to Tiger Woods, which is crazy, but he's certainly on his way to being compared to Tiger Woods. So we're going to start with setup now. At setup, if you have a look at the down the line view, you can see that the hips are hinged really nicely, enough for him to create an arm bend that goes straight down. So the arms are nicely sitting in front of him in a relaxed position. They're not like you see with most amateur golfers where they almost sit in a seated position, so the spine sits a little bit more this way. The arms then have to sit a little bit more outwards away from you. So that gives him some nice athletic start positions there. Also, if you have a look at the box that I've got around him, you can see it's armpits to front of knees to front of laces, and that is a really nice athletic position to start from. That creates the balance that he's able to have during the swing until obviously he starts doing his Scottie shuffle. If we have a look face on, there's loads of good stuff again there. You've got the A-frame posture, so the feet are just outside the hips. The lead shoulder line to the ankle, the left side is all touching it. So you can see from the line from the shoulder all the way down to his ankle, you can see the whole of that side is touching it. That sets his spine in a nice straight position. All the vertebrae sitting under each other, and that allows him to rotate very nicely around the body. And then you can see that the handle, so again, you've got the lead shoulder line to the ball this time. See the handle just sits behind it, just behind it. And that allows him to start this little fade shot that he likes to hit. That allows him to start the ball a tad left and then obviously fade it back to the right. Now, if we start by having a look into the swing, you will see a slight shift straight away. Now, all the best players in the world are doing this, where they shift slightly off the ball to start with. And that is to create some really good power into the backswing, or to create some power down the impact. If we take him back in the takeaway on down the line as well, you see he sets in this position where he's got a nice soft right arm bend. The club face hasn't changed its orientation at all. It's still matching the spine angle. And you can see that the club just sets slightly outside the hand. So it allows him to get a little bit steeper on the way back and then get it shallow in on the way down a little bit. Now, as we carry on working back from there, you're going to see, and this is a very important thing that you'll see in all professional golfers, from takeaway to the top of the swing, if you have a look at what this right hip is doing, you can see it's already shifting back to the centre. So he's got this start position where the hip is, and he's reset it to the top of the swing. So he's kept his base really, really stable and over the centre of the shot. He's stacked the shot. You can see same here, it gets to the top of the swing. It's the same thing, he's stacked those hips, recentered them very, very nicely. Now, this is one of the key things that I've seen in Scottie Scheffler's swing, and that I really, really like it, is the way he is able to limit wrist hinge to the top of the swing. Now, that comes from obviously having the mobility to be able to turn the chest as much as he does. But what it also allows him to do is keep the arc extremely wide throughout the whole swing. He's able to keep his arc very, very wide. Now, if you're able to keep the arc wide, you're able to keep the face probably pretty much more on plane. And that is one of the keys to him being so accurate with his iron shots and his pitch shots. Because he's able to limit the wrist hinge, there's no uncocking of the wrist. He doesn't have to uncock as much as everyone else, which allows him to control the club face better than most. Now, as we then see into the downswing, he's got this shift into the lead side. It's a very big shift. Because he goes slightly higher than plane at the top, he needs to shift shift to the left to allow him to then drop the hands back on plane. So you'll see that big shift of the lower body, shoulder starting to work its way past the original line. And then from there again, you'll see down the line is when he starts shifting, you see that the hands then drop onto plane, and that allows him then to shallow out that shaft just a little bit from the top of the swing. Now, as we work into the impact zone, we're going to see this position here, this position here. You'll see club face is still matching the spine angle, and that is because of the width that he's able to keep on the way back. He can maintain the wrist angles on the way down and really create that nice impact position that we're seeing there. One other big thing that you see is the hips or the glutes are now behind the original start position. So as he works back, you can see they sit behind it, and as they work down, you can also see that they sit behind the original position. That allows him to get into a side bend position. That allows his spine to bend into right side bend, and that's another reason why he's able to strike the ball so well, because he's able to rotate the hips out, get into a side bend position. That allows him to hold the shaft for longer. You can see how much lower he is to the original starting position, and that is one of the reasons why he can hold the shaft and maintain the angles that he does. So as we go into impact, that's about as good as I can get it on face on. You can see left heel is still down on the ground. Now, one of the things you'll see when people really spin their hips out is the right heel will be off the ground. You'll see that this heel stabilizes here. On most people, you'll see the foot's up here and the leg is bent almost outside the original box. And that causes them to flip the club a little bit more than this guy. So he maintains that heel staying so close to the ground. That's allowed him to open up and stay behind the line, which creates this space for the club to drop in. You can see how much he's shifted ahead of his original position. You can see the whole body at impact is ahead, bar the head. And that is another one of those side bend traits that he has, which allows him to really strike the ball nicely. Now, as we then work through impact, you're going to see, you can see from here, watch his hands are working inside. They're working left of the plane line. Now, that's how he gets his fade, right? If he's working left through impact zone, the path is going to be a little bit more left, and that's how he's going to create his little fade. You can still see, and this is what's so good about the Scottie Scheffler, is you can still see the maintenance of that left heel. Now, that that right heel is working towards target through impact. It's staying down, but it's working forward. So it's working this way, or in fact, it really works this way, which is even better, but it's never ever working, it's never ever kicking out that way. And that's one of the greatest traits that he has with this shuffle, and that's what allows him to maintain the shaft lean as much as he does, because of the way it works. Because he's working it forward and not towards the ball, that's how he creates these really, really crisp shots and maintains the face control the whole time. Now, as he works around the corner, again, you can still see fantastic ability to control that club face, matching the spine angle on the way through, hands working left around the corner. And again, I talk about the width of the arc. He is so good at maintaining that on the way through as well. And you can see he gets all the way, his arms are still pretty much straight all the way through till roughly there. And then he has that slight bend, but you can see the club face there has never ever shut on him. So if he's never shut in, he's barely ever going to hit it left. And that's one of the greatest traits that he has, is he's only going to really miss the ball in one direction. So that's an overview of Scottie Scheffler world number one, champion golfer of the year, 4-time major champion. If there's anything you can take from this, it's the ability he has to control that club face and how he moves to control it.